We saw a couple of movies today. Everybody, keep it together.
Sorry.
We did a double feature.
It was his birthday.
It was his birthday.
It's our birthdays, and every year we do this.
We double feature
We
birthday,
double feature
feature.
Oh, security. He's coming around.
Yeah,
you think
he's
he's going to fuck with us?
No, I think he's just walking around.
This is Burbank. He'll probably ask us for a permit.
We're going to get fined.
We got to get out of Burbank.
We did our birthday surprise double feature. And Todd, what was the first feature we saw?
The first feature was Den of Thieves.
Den of Thieves. Hey, Steve, what's Den of Thieves about? Den of Thieves is a movie starring Gerard Butler as a real grumpy, grizzled, dirty cop who likes to chew food through the entire movie.
And gum.
And
smoke cigarettes. He's a very... His entire character is about an oral fixation.
While he pursues a elite gang of bank robbers in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. They're elite.
They're so elite, and then they're like
They're led by a tall Irish guy with great muscles.
Yeah.
You think. But the twist is... Spoiler alert. It's Ice Cube Jr.
Ice Cube Jr.
It's Ice Cube Jr.
Yeah, there's like a whole, like...
and if you
there's
don't...
a twist. There's a twist. There's a twist.
If you don't see this twist coming...
Then,
by the time the third act rolls around, this is your movie.
I gotta say,
You're so fucking stupid.
I gotta say, though, this is my preferred movie of the two.
Oh, Den of Thieves is by far more entertaining than The Hostel.
Because Gerard Butler seems like he's having just a hoot in this one, because he just starts eating food. The opening scene, he shows up at a crime scene and takes a donut out of a box from the crime scene and eats it. He literally
the box
eats evidence.
Is covered in blood.
Yeah,
it's covered in blood. Never mind the possibility that some of that weird blood got on a donut that he ate.
And then
Forget that.
And then he spends the whole movie just chewing on things.
Well, in that scene, and that was the first scene that, like, bothered me as a viewer, like, took me out of my suspension of disbelief, because...
Really?
He literally... No, it was the very first...
Really?
It's the first time you see Gerard Butler in the movie.
Yeah, and when
There's
he
a good
ate
shootout.
evidence donut, I was like, I'm on board with this nonsense.
No. My problem with that scene was he walks out like you have this great shootout in the beginning, and I like
it's a good shootout. That shootout in the beginning is
very good,
really good,
and that's the only good part of the fucking movie. The only good part, and it's so good that you ride on it,
hoping they're going to top it. They're going to top it.
Fumes for almost 45 minutes before you go, why is this movie still happening? But it keeps on going. My point is, Gerard Butler shows up.
Yeah.
And you see his massive shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you see first.
So broad. His broad
beautiful
Scottish shoulders.
Oh, it's just marvelous, like, shoulders, back of the head, and you're just like, Gerard Butler's here, and he's grizzled, and he's mean.
He's
you know
so
it from
grizzled
the back.
because he's got all the facial hair and...
And he gets up to his team of cops, and there's
who are also grizzled.
They're grizzled.
Everyone in this movie is grizzled.
Except the FBI guys. The FBI are made up entirely of vegans.
Yeah, they're
all vegans.
It's a great joke. It really lands.
Hysterical and true to life. True to life. My point is he walks up to his group of grizzled cops who start barking exposition at him.
Yeah.
This happened, and this happened, and this happened. And he goes, well, by that, we can learn that this happened, this happened, this happened. So while they're doing that, the first thing he does when he gets up to them is he pulls a piece of gum out of... Even though he's a guy who smokes openly in front of people all the time.
And somehow every indoor business he goes into in Los Angeles, he lights up a cigarette and no one tells him he can't smoke.
No, he smokes in bars and nobody gives a fuck. Not only that, there's an entire scene in the middle of the movie, maybe like just past the midway point, where he goes to a beach by himself. There's no plot movement at all when he does this. He goes to a beach by himself and he smokes a cigarette. and looks out at the ocean.
All right,
So
let's we gotta wrap this.
My
one.
point is, like, his character is introduced as a guy who might be quitting smoking because the first thing he does is he pulls a piece of gum out of his, and he eats the gum, and that's the only time in the movie he eats gum. He's offered some later that he doesn't.
No, he eats gum later when he's in the kitchen in his house.
Oh, right, because he has to, because his wife is there.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
your whole theory is bullshit.
But that's not even the problem. The problem is he takes the gum, he puts it in his mouth, and immediately after demands a donut. Never spits the gum out. He eats a donut while he's chewing gum. Nobody does that.
That's your biggest problem.
That was my first big problem.
What's the second movie we saw?
Hostels.
And what was Hostels about?
Hostels is about my white man guilt, about killing all the natives in the Americas.
Uh-huh.
And
Batman's guilty about being part of a genocide.
And I guess I'm supposed to feel better about it because they gave West Studi a bunch of money to not talk very much. I don't know what I was supposed to
What I
learn.
think is great about Hostels is...
Nothing!
It was a white savior movie where the white people actually failed to save anybody.
Well, that's true.
They didn't even accomplish that.
No, I think the biggest problem, though, was pacing. Because it took a long time for them to fail at saving natives.
Way too long.
And then a lot of times they weren't trying.
No.
And then Ben Foster shows up. And I like Ben Foster.
And then I got excited because Ben Foster is good. He's always exciting.
Yeah, and then they tied him to a tree.
And then he tied him to a tree and he had a conversation and then ran away.
That was the other thing. These two movies is a 1-2 punch against gingers. Because in the first movie, the only gingers, in Den of Thieves, the gingers were all bank robbers.
They were all the bad bank robbers.
And they were hot-headed, and they fired off too easily, and they were a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
And
Hostels.
And then the supposed breath of fresh air in Hostels is the ginger is the one who falls for Ben Foster's wiles, I guess.
And that's Jesse Plemons.
And
who's another ginger.
Yeah, another ginger. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So gingers are either hot-headed assholes committing crimes.
Yeah, or dupes.
Or they're dupes who fall for the Ben Foster bullshit. And I'll tell you right now, if I was in 30 Days of Night, if I was in Alaska and Ben Foster showed up, I wouldn't put him in a cell. No. I'd drive a stake through his eyeball and then through his heart and then in his balls just for good measure. Because it's Ben Foster just showing up out of nowhere.
It's good.
You can't trust that motherfucker.
No good.
Unless you're a bank robber and he's your brother. And then he will die for you, and then he's all right.
So the takeaway is both of these movies are cruel to gingers.
Yeah, it's it's racist bullshit.
Yeah, okay, I wouldn't. All right.
Okay, maybe I've gone too far. My point is...
No, that's enough. We've done enough.
I gotta finish my calzone.
So disgusting.